People make it, they all can turn around and thank Beyoncé because that's
I have been falsely imprisoned through the misuse of the Baker Act, the Marchman Act, and a petition for a guardianship.
and enough is enough. I'm fucking coming for everyone now.
What if the biggest stars in music weren't just idols, but architects of something way darker than the public ever imagined? We see it all the time. Industry thank yous to Beyoncé. Jay-Z held up as a genius mogul. Power couple goals splashed across every magazine. But deep down, haven't you ever wondered what it really costs to stand at the top in an industry built on sacrifice? Tonight, we're not just spilling tea. We're opening a vault of stories the industry hoped you'd never connect. From artists pressured to participate in rituals, to survivors describing false imprisonment, to a daughter exposing twisted secrets inside her own powerful family at Roc Nation. These aren't rumors whispered in smoke-filled rooms. These are voices on camera, court dockets, FBI investigations, and patterns too clear to ignore. You've felt it before. Why do so many bright, young talents end up broken, silent, or dead, while the same faces keep getting richer? What if the superfan chants and sold-out concerts are actually fuel for something hidden? Magic and manipulation so high-level it rewires your mind without you ever knowing. We're going beyond scandal. We're connecting the dots the news skips, the stories stars deny, and the evidence that keeps crawling out, just like it did for Diddy, and might soon for Jay-Z and Beyoncé. The circle isn't just cracking tonight. It's exposed. Stick around, because this might permanently change how you see the superstar world. Let's be real. Hollywood wants you distracted. Streaming, dancing, arguing online about who the real queen is, so you never look at the patterns hiding in plain sight. But some people did look. And when they talked, what they described wasn't glamour. It was silence, loyalty, and, according to the bravest voices, ritual.
Jay-Z and I signed to Roc Nation. The first thing he told me to do is get plastic surgery. I'm not insecure because I would have got plastic surgery. People make it, they all can turn around and thank Beyoncé because that's it. And enough is enough. I'm fucking coming for everyone now. And even Adele, because she's retired now, but her career would not exist if I hadn't made Jonathan Dickens into a manager. And bitch, when she gets an award, she thanks Beyoncé. Oh, I didn't want to drip myself in blood and cover myself and swim in goop, in black goop, and fucking like wear devil horns to fucking sell a record. Fuck that. All be a witch. All be that, all of that. Fuck all of that.
She didn't whisper it. She said it loud. Jay-Z and Beyoncé weren't just moguls. She described them as presiding figures, invitations to red-lit rituals in luxury hotel suites, industry elites trading symbols like party favors. According to her, the higher you climb, the stranger the demands get. Want airplay? Prove loyalty. The pressure isn't just psychological. Look at the pipeline. Diddy and Jay-Z, long rumored to control the velvet rope. And then there's Aaliyah. Not just a rising star, but someone surrounded. The whispers say Jay-Z knew far more about what was happening with Diddy and R. Kelly than he ever admitted. The habit of turning a blind eye isn't just rumor. It's why survivor stories sound the same year after year. You're probably wondering why Jay-Z and Beyoncé's names keep popping up around the Diddy situation. That's why we're here. When someone like Diddy starts falling, it always begins as rumors. Decades of them. Jay-Z had rumors too, but softer ones. Speculation. Photos with R. Kelly. Business ties with powerful men. And people brushed it off. But when you've known someone that long, people start asking what you knew and when. Jay-Z's history has always been about staying quiet. Which brings us back to Aaliyah. A relationship so widely known in the industry that people worked around it. According to close insiders, some refused to associate with R. Kelly at all. Others didn't. Collab albums kept coming. And people noticed. There's no hard proof Jay-Z pursued Aaliyah, but the speculation never stopped. And when tragedy struck, the silence around it only grew louder. Then things shifted. A lawyer stepped forward, publicly announcing he was collecting names. Big names. Names that would shock people. He claimed the information was already being shared with federal investigators. And suddenly, this wasn't just gossip anymore. In Beyoncé's case, people argue it's only proximity, marriage, longevity. But in an industry built on secrets, proximity matters. Aaliyah's death wasn't an isolated tragedy. It followed a familiar pattern. Parties that start as opportunity and end in isolation. Young women overpowered by influence they can't challenge. Drinks. Confusion. Fear. Silence enforced not just by NDAs, but by the understanding that speaking out could make you the next headline, or worse. Diddy was sloppy. People say that's why he got caught. Jay-Z isn't sloppy. That makes him harder to touch. But the FBI doesn't forget. Information stacks. Vaults fill. And when there's enough, they move. For the first time, the walls are shaking beyond tabloid drama. Investigations. Lawsuits. That untouchable aura feels thinner. If you've ever felt like every music industry scandal is just a trailer for something bigger, buckle up. This isn't a conspiracy for clicks. It's unfolding piece by piece.
Bet you want to know why Jay-Z and Beyonce's name keep popping up around the whole Diddy thing. Well, that's why I'm here. Now, first thing you gotta know is when somebody like Diddy gets taken down, things always start out as a rumor. Diddy has had rumors floating around for like decades. Well, Jay-Z had a problem. He right there in the corner, by the way. Jay-Z has had a few rumors himself, but more like speculation. People see Jay-Z in a picture of R. Kelly, they're like, I guess they both make music. Then Jay-Z with Harvey Weinstein. People are like, I guess they both do business. Then, of course, Jay-Z with Diddy. Now, hold on. Here's the thing. Jay-Z and Diddy go way back. Like back to the days when they were both coming up. So you could say they might just have a lot of respect for each other. But on the other hand, people are like, well, if you've known each other that long, Jay-Z, you must have known what Diddy was on. But Jay-Z has always had a history of keeping quiet, which brings us to Aaliyah. Now, I'm sure y'all remember R. Kelly dated Aaliyah when she literally needed her parents' permission slip to get married. Now, if I remember correctly, her parents got the permission slip and said, marry who? And that's how this whole thing got exposed. Now, a lot of people in the industry actually knew about this relationship because they would work with R. Kelly. They would be in the studio with R. Kelly. Now, according to Dame Dash, who, listen closely, was Jay-Z's first business partner and also dated Aaliyah when she was 21. He said this is how it went. He said he didn't want anything to do with R. Kelly because everyone knew what type of timing R. Kelly was on. He looks over at Jay-Z and Jay-Z's out here creating collab albums with R. Kelly. But then he saw why. For starters, everyone had a crush on Aaliyah. People were waiting down the clock until she turned 18. But Jay-Z decided to get a head start. Now, there's absolutely no proof that Jay-Z went after Aaliyah, but people were like, let me see another picture. But apparently Jay-Z wasn't successful and Dame Dash started dating her when she was 21. Now, what does this all have to do with Diddy? It's the secrets. It's the, like what happened to Diddy, making people wonder. Nas came out, well, he technically didn't come out and say this, but while he was having his legendary beef with Jay-Z, he's doing a radio interview and he's saying, it's weird that Jay-Z be working with people that need a permission slip to marry somebody. Okay. But again, rumors, kind of like what was happening to Diddy. But then this lawyer comes out and says, boy, do I got some news for y'all. And here's where it starts to get wicked. Now, he's going after Diddy. Specifically, listen closely, anyone that Diddy might have done something to, or anyone who's watched Diddy do some of these things and stayed silent about it. Now, first of all, the lawyer's taking calls from anyone. So theoretically, anyone could just call trying to get some money saying Diddy did this to me, Diddy should pay me. But in the lawyer's defense, I'm sure he's looking for people with proof. Honestly, I don't know him. He could be trash. Anyway, what he said next is what got people interested. He said, and I got some names. He said some wild names. Some names that will blow your mind. He's selling this. He's saying, yo, y'all finna wild out when you hear these names. I'm not gonna say it now, but y'all finna wild out. So people are like, Now, in Beyonce's case, it's just because she's married to Jay-Z and she's been in the industry for like 20 years. People are like, you must have known something. But that's all people. Diddy's sloppy. He was bound to get caught. Jay-Z, not sloppy. So he would be a tough one to catch. But on the other hand, the FBI is pretty good at their jobs. And remember that lawyer from earlier that's going against Diddy and is gathering all those names on his alleged accomplices? Well, he also said that he gave a lot of his information to the FBI. And if Jay-Z's name pops up, he's in trouble, because how the FBI works is they'll take that information and they'll put it in a little vault with all the other information they might have on Jay-Z. When it's enough to lock him up, that's when they'll come out.
Her perspective reframed everything. Ambition wasn't artistic. It was financial. The goal wasn't culture. It was legacy and power. Narratives built, communities discarded, creativity harvested and repackaged. Hip-hop, once revolutionary, was absorbed into finance and image, and those who helped shape it were pushed aside once they'd served their purpose. She said she refused the deal, refused the ritual, and paid the price. For every person who survives to talk, there's another who doesn't. Stories that end with someone drugged, silenced, locked away, or worse.
Their ambition is financial. Like, if you wanted to be the Black Bill Gates, as Beyoncé says, no one can get in the way of that. And even people from smaller communities and smaller plights, you know, like to them, yeah, where is Sri Lanka? Who are the Tamils? Who cares? You know, I think to them, being part of and building this narrative of the American, you know, the wealthy Black community is more important. And whoever has to be thrown under the bus for that was what was going to happen. And I think Ben Brofman is also the first Black Brofman, you know, and that's a really important point to understand. So,
what do you mean by that?
Because his mom is Black, you know, and so I think that was a movement that was happening. And yes, I had the template that was radical and is the edge that hip hop needed, you know. But I was also inspired by hip hop and brought it back to America in a different form and shape on a very real situation, because there was actually a revolution happening in my country at the time, you know. And by then, hip hop had already moved into finance, where they were talking about bling. And I brought back the old school version of hip hop, where you're, you know, in the category of what artists like Nas and, you know, people that were more political and conscious, what they were representing. So it reignited something else. But then it got repackaged by hip hop, you know, and I think it did influence a lot of Kanye's taste or Rihanna's taste and Beyonce's taste. And what happened with those four artists, like Jay-Z, Kanye, Beyonce, and Rihanna, my stuff did affect that, you know.
The survivor described a party, celebrities everywhere, a drink, then the world slipping out of focus. Fear, being cornered, no help, no protection, running for safety while everyone watched and did nothing. The aftermath followed her for life. Depression, anxiety, trauma that never really fades. Another soul nearly broken by the machine. And when survivors try to speak, the system tightens. Legal pressure, character assassination, isolation.
The party going off, you see celebrities from all over, but you also see a lot of like the really intense kind. So she talks to a couple celebrities, she chilling, and then she has something to drink. She says she immediately feels super duper lit and has to go lie down. She goes to her bedroom, she lies down. Then allegedly Diddy, Jay-Z, and an unknown female celebrity walk in. Diddy walk in tweaking. She said wild eyes, talking about, "You ready to party?" He like kind of shaking her. She falls. She then gets up. Then allegedly, Jay-Z picks her up. And well, this next part might be a little intense. So if you're sensitive to that sort of thing, skip to when I put my hand up like this. So Diddy and that unnamed celebrity at this point are just watching, while Jay-Z does stuff he shouldn't be doing. Then Diddy, after Jay-Z takes a step back, then begins to do stuff he shouldn't be doing. Afterwards, Diddy then allegedly tries to force her to continue. That's when she gets her wits about her and begins to scrap. Diddy's shocked, like, what's going on? She grabs her clothes, takes off. She's running through the party, holding her clothes, and apparently nobody's doing anything to help. She gets outside, she gets those clothes on, runs to a gas station. Hand up for the folks that ain't want to hear all that, by the way. She gets to a gas station. The female clerk at the gas station sees that this girl's in distress, so she gives her a phone. She grabs a phone, she calls her dad, says, "Hey, I snuck out, come pick me up." Pops picks her up, Pops takes her home. Now, she then says this has affected her through her whole life, and it put her in a deep. Let's talk about real quick what Jay-Z has to say about this, because he responds immediately. He says that lawyer, Tony Busby, remember that lawyer I showed you earlier? Jay-Z says he's basically doing all this for the cash. He's trying to blackmail me. Jay-Z then says for a crime as heinous as this, why would you file a civil suit? File a criminal suit against me. Now, for those of you that don't know, there are two different types of trials in the United States. There's a criminal case where basically the police is going after you, you're going to jail. Then there's civil, which this case is. You're not going to jail, but you more often than not have to pay somebody money for damages. It's like getting sued. So Jay-Z saying, why would you sue me? Call the police. Jay-Z then goes on to say, I had to talk to my daughter about this. My daughter, she finna go to school and then what? And Jay-Z said in the last line to the lawyer, I look forward to showing you how different I am. And here's where it starts to get wicked.
Jay-Z responded fast. He dismissed the accusations as a cash grab, questioned why the case was civil instead of criminal, spoke about his daughter, his reputation, and promised to show how different he is. On the surface, calm. But reputation damage doesn't require jail time. It only requires questions asked in public. Questions about ages, about what he knew, about who he associated with. And while the headlines swirl, the real victims fade into the background, used for their uniqueness, discarded for their silence. This isn't old gossip. It's the pressure before a break. Now step deeper. Because when insiders speak, the retaliation gets personal.
I haven't seen my mom since December 25th, 2023. That's the last time that I saw her physically. The last time I spoke to her was December 30th, 2023, when she said that I was dead to her. My mother and I, our relationship has always been strained. Miami-Dade Police Department storm into the room and they tell us, we received a call that you're getting beat up nonstop. We need to separate you guys and talk.
Whoa! Hold on. Wait a second. Because I want to make sure that everybody understands what's being said here. All of a sudden, he's pulling a DV on you. People have to come running in because they were called. Your mother wasn't there, right?
No, so it's important to note that my mother was in New York City. They stormed in to the door. Because the police officer, she didn't say this on the body cam, but she told me, she said, we got the call, she's watching you from New York, there's a camera in here. If I were you guys, I would move out of here because clearly the people who live in here have a problem with you guys. That camera was not in a common area. That camera was in our bathroom, facing our shower in a closet. And
what?
Yes. It was in our closet. We had a closet in the shower that faces directly into the shower, into the toilet.
Someone installed a camera in there to be able to watch what you were. This is a total invasion of privacy, and there's no excuse for it.
The private investigators, where she rented the house directly across the street from us to watch us 24/7, followed us to the farm. We already knew we were being followed, but I didn't know until after that arrest that they were living across the street. And then my therapist called me. And she goes, Demori, I had this weird girl come into my office, play this, the audio sounded nothing like you. I'm like, what do you mean? Can you describe her? She described her and I go, I know who that is. I sent her the picture. I said, is it this woman? She goes, yes, how do you know her? I go, that's Natalie Anderson, known as Natalie Love, an assistant at Rock Nation.
Her story wasn't about fame gone wrong. It was about surveillance, arrests, hidden cameras, private investigators, and a mother with the power to weaponize the system. She described being watched, followed, manipulated, and labeled unstable, all while court documents later contradicted the accusations. This wasn't a smear campaign. It was systematic retaliation. Legal, psychological, and relentless. If this is how they treat their own, what chance does anyone else have? And then there's the final layer. The one people mock until it's too loud to ignore.
Y'all sitting up here trying to come for me because I'm speaking the truth about this witch, this high-ranked sorceress witch who had y'all under a spell. She had me under her spell too. I could admit it. I know Beyonce had me under her spell, and when I went to her concert, in 20 what? I think it was 2015. She had a concert on my birthday. I'm a twin. Me and my twin sister went to go see her, and I seen her in person. I seen the witchcraft in person. I seen how everybody stood up off their feet with their eyes just like really focused on her, not even looking around, unconsciously just standing up. I had to look around and see what was going on. Not only that, it was this one dance that she did, y'all. I forgot what album this was and everything, because it's just like it left my mind because I turned it crazy. But she did this dance on stage, and it was raining in Philly this day, and she was like, I love rain, I love water, because she has a marine spirit in her ocean. Then I told my sister, I turned to her, I said, she's about to do this rain dance, and the rain's going to stop once she's done the ritual. Y'all, she started doing this dance, and mind you, I used to watch all her stuff. The girl can move. This woman is a high-ranked sorceress witch. She does a lot of covenant things. This is even people who are witches spoke out against her about blood covenants, children, rituals. She does love spells on her fans. She pranks around on the stage looking pretty and cute, and she does love spells on her fans. She does more than just love spells. Y'all participate in satanic rituals. The images on the screen, the way the stage is set up, the things that she do, y'all are partaking in her rituals. All she cares to do is to use y'all energy that she harvests, energy harvesting. She use your energy, she takes it, and then she puts back out more spells. All it does is charges her up, and then it just keeps y'all wrapped around her finger. Why this woman lives rent-free in your mind today. This is why her songs play in your head without you even listening to her music. This is why she's your screensaver. This is why all you can think of is things Beyonce, because it's a spell. Like, are y'all okay? Are y'all okay? Are y'all okay? Not we, but are y'all okay? Because I'm trying to figure it out. Like, y'all don't even know why y'all feel this way about this woman. Why y'all want to defend her all the time. Y'all under her spell.
She didn't speak metaphorically. She described concerts as rituals, choreography as spells, crowds as energy sources, symbols hiding in plain sight. She claimed Beyoncé wasn't just a performer, but a high-ranking practitioner, using centuries-old traditions repackaged as pop spectacle. According to her, fans don't just watch. They participate. Every concert becomes a mass ritual. Every obsession feeds the machine. Laugh if you want. People laughed about Diddy too. Because when celebrities can't be touched legally, the battlefield becomes reputation. Depositions. Public questions. History dragged into the light. That's what they fear. So here we are, full circle. Are these the ravings of bitter insiders, or warnings we ignored too long? Secrets surface in waves. Lawsuits multiply. Patterns repeat. If truths this big can hide behind the world's brightest smiles, what are we missing every time we cheer? Are we just fans, or are we part of the fuel? And when the glamour fades and the truth can't be buried anymore, who decides the next icon, and at what cost? If you liked this video, hit subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. Until then, keep it real.